Welcome to Season 6 of the Coach Pony Podcast. We are here to help you get paid to coach, and sometimes to find clients you just need your questions answered. In this very cheesy 80s-themed season of the podcast, join me, Christie Mims, a career and business coach, and Bobbi Palmer, a dating coach, as we answer your burning questions about your coaching business, so you get more paying clients. Because after building 6- and 7-figure businesses of our own, we've learned a few things. So with that, let's get down to business. Welcome to the Coach Pony Radio Hour. We are live with some new questions. So Bobbi, you ready for me to take the first question?
I'm ready.
Go. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Coach Pony, this is Derek again. I really appreciate that you always take my calls. I kind of feel like E.T. phoning home. Anyway, I make a lot of money now, but I'm still scared to quit my day job and coach full-time. Is it really possible to make 6 figures or more coaching?
All right, this is such a great question, and I think it's one almost every new coach has asked themselves. So Bobbi, what is your hot take? Is it possible?
Yes, and it's not necessarily easy. Sorry, just being honest.
I love it. No, and my hot take is it's 100% possible. And I agree, building a business isn't that easy. And there are a few things you need to get right. But we're going to talk about different ways, 3 different ways, in fact, to make more than 6 figures coaching. And I'm going to break it down. We're going to break it all down for you. So it can be done, but you really got to commit to it. Bobbi and I have made money in using all of the ways that we're going to share 6 and 7 figures in all of these different ways. So we want to say absolutely you can do it. We want to be very optimistic about this. And of course, we're going to break it down for you. And we're here for brutal honesty. So we also want to be honest and say a lot of coaches don't even come close to making 6 figures because they never learn how to run a coaching business. You can't just magically get out there and hope that you're going to get clients. You do need to learn basic business skills. And that is why Coach Pony exists. We are here to help you with that. So this podcast is great, you guys, but it's not going to teach you everything that you need to know. So if you really want to be successful as a coach, get business training. I, of course, recommend ours over at coachpony.com. So check it out. But mostly, don't give up. Treat your business training with the same amount of commitment that you treated your coaching certification training, and do not let your gremlins get in the way and stop you from getting the learning that you need to succeed. But let me get off my soapbox on that for a second, and let's talk about the 3 different ways coaches can make money. There's more than this, but we want to keep things simple for you right now and talk about the most common ways coaches can make 6 figures or more. So let's dive in with way number 1. And Bobbi, actually, I'll have you kick this off because this is something you've been excelling at in the last 5 years.
Yeah, the first way to really earn a great living at coaching is doing private coaching. I have always done that in my business for the last 15 years, but it's really the last couple years that I've only done that. My average price is somewhere around $7,500, and that's for a 6-month coaching program. And it includes, not every week necessarily, but it includes a certain number of hours over those 6 months of private coaching. And then what I call date 911 time, which is urgent, coaching, usually via text or telephone.
This is great information. And I want to do some money math right here. Because if you get 1 client per month at $7,500, then you're already making around $90,000 for the year with just 1 client per month. But let's keep doing some more money math. Let's say you were to get 2 clients a month at $7,500 per client. Now you're comfortably making well over 6 figures for the year with just 2 clients per month. Now, please do not panic if $7,500 per month, per package terrifies you. Obviously, Bobbi charges a fairly expensive rate because she's been doing this for over a decade. I do not expect you as a newer coach to charge that kind of money for your private coaching packages. And that's totally fine. If you're panicking, don't worry. Let's break this down another way and use a different type of math with a lower package rate. So let's say your package is $2,500. And I think that's a little bit more palatable for some brand new coaches, though I know it might still feel high, but go with me. Let's say it's $2,500. So if you sell 5 $2,500 coaching packages per month, so that's just a little bit more than 1 package a week, you'll easily be making 6 figures. So that's not that hard. Or if you like the idea of charging a lot more, you could just sell, 14 or 15 packages a year at $7,500. So that's also 6 figures. My point is that there's a lot of different ways that you can break down this math, and Bobbi's right. So many coaches make 6 figures just from private coaching. That's how I made the bulk of my money for the first 18 months of my business and crossed that 6-figure threshold, was really private coaching, because it is so profitable so quickly.
Let me say this. When I talk about it's not easy, I find that's really important, because there's so many coaches out there who, it's so easy to make $1 million, especially when I started, which was long before you even. Everything was, this is so easy. It's so easy to make $1 million in a coaching business. And people still say that. That pisses me off, because it's not that easy. It's a lot of work, and you have to be really smart, and you have to be strategic, and you have to keep learning. And that's all really good stuff for me. And I'm older. I'm like, got 20 years on you, I think, right? So I'm old. I'm starting to collect Social Security next year. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. But the idea, like the last few years, I've been like, I just don't want to work that much. I don't want to work that hard. So that's why I made this decision to really focus just on private coaching. And it was okay to me to make less money, because it was sort of aligned with how much I wanted to put in. And that's a real decision that every individual coach makes for themselves. Don't let these, you got to make 6 figures or you got to make 7 figures. Otherwise, you're not a reliable coach or a good coach. I've helped so many people in the last few years, and that's a huge payoff. I'm just not making the millions of dollars.
Yeah, I think a lot of coaches get fixated on the number, and it's a vanity metric, because the number is meaningless. Profit is what's important. Your lifestyle is what's important. How you spend your time. Are you doing what you really want to do? That's also really, really important. Ultimately, your top line revenue doesn't matter at all, because you can have a business where you're making $300,000 a year, but you're only making $20,000 profit, and that's not going to support you, right? Or $1 million a year, and you're only making $50,000 profit, and that's barely going to support you. There's a lot of ways to go wrong in this business. So it's really important not to focus on the top line number, but your lifestyle and your profit. And if you're doing what you love, and if it's supporting how you want to live your life. And Bobbi, what do you want to add?
I'm like jumping. I'm like, me. I want to say something. The net is what matters. There were years when my husband would do my taxes at the end of the year, and he'd be like, you do realize the people who are working for you make more money than you do. So the gross coming in feels really good and yummy, and you feel like you're doing a great job, but really, you got to focus on the net. And for me, doing private coaching didn't require that I needed to hire other people. I wasn't doing a lot. It was all through my list. It was just, I didn't need a marketing person. I didn't need a VA. I didn't need any overhead. And that's how it was really profitable for me.
Yes. And I'm going to get off on a tangent here, but I think it's a good one, because you introduced this idea, which is that private coaching is really one of the more lucrative and profitable business models, especially for newer coaches, because it requires you to have almost no infrastructure at all. And it's evergreen, meaning you can get clients at any time and almost instantly, be able to start supporting yourself as a coach. And that makes it an easy way into this transition for new coaches. And in addition to that, you need very little else in your business. You need a way to take payment like Stripe, PayPal, Venmo. You need a calendar tool like Calendly so people can schedule sessions with you. Ideally, you'll have a simple website, a phone line, a Zoom link, and then beyond that, you need almost nothing. You do not need a VA. You do not need a lot of bells and whistles. And that's a little bit different from group or online programs, because when you start building out a group or online program, you have to start investing more in infrastructure. You're going to often need a sales page. You might need more customer support. You might need a student learning center. You might have to produce a curriculum with video and some other things that are going to cost a little bit more to produce and maintain. And of course, as you start to get a bigger business and really scale and you get a business more like mine, you're going to have a team and all of the expenses associated with that. So for a lot of new coaches, I think private coaching is a great place to start because it's instantly profitable. You need very little to get going. You can have a wide variety of what you can charge, which is helpful. So you can really set a rate that's going to support you. And you also really get to know your clients in a different way. So even if you want to expand into having a business like I do, which is large scale online group programs, I started with private coaching and it was really game changing and allowed me to understand my clients in a new way and then build better group programs because I had that high touch understanding. So we've talked about two different ways to make money private coaching in terms of the money math. And there's a third way to consider. So just to recap really fast, if you sell 2,500 packages a month, one per week, you're making well over six figures. If you sell 1 to 2 $7,000 packages a month, you'll make over six figures. And the third way is something that usually falls in the executive or corporate coach arena, but can also work for coaches in very high-end niches. So what if you sold 6 $25,000 packages a year? If you did that, that's $150,000, and that's only one client every other month. So I say that just showing that there's a lot of range in private coaching, which is really, really cool. Not to say that it's for everyone, but you have a lot of flexibility in pricing. And what's important is that you understand the money math. And once you do that, then getting to six figures is a lot easier because then you know how many people you need as clients, how many people you need to reach. And you can really set up the systems and processes to get that amount of people into your business simply, which is a relief.
And if you're wondering, remember our previous episode where we really dug into how to find clients locally. If you're thinking about doing private coaching and you're getting started, that's a really great way to find coaching clients. And again, with like little or no overhead is needed.
To run a seven-figure program with a lot of live support and other stuff, you're just going to need a lot of overhead. I have a team. Yeah. I have a lot of technology I use that requires payment, right? Like my tech stack is not cheap. You know, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. You don't need any of that as a private coach. Awesome. So that's one way to make six figures. And again, you can change the money math to suit whatever your package or offer is to help you figure out how to get there. So tell me, what's the second way a coach could make more than six figures coaching? And I have to say, this is my personal favorite. So take it away, Bobbi.
The second way is group coaching, and you could do it on a large scale or a small scale in terms of the size of the groups. I had a program called Over 40 Love School. The price point was depending on when people registered, if they had early bird registration and so forth. And I did it over years. So the investment went anywhere from about $4,000 to $7,500 over the years. It was a 6-month program, small group. So I had about a dozen, 12 or 14 women in my group. Christie, you can do the math. I know she's like,
well, 7,500 times 14, to give you an example, is $105,000. And so if Bobbi had run that program twice a year at that price point, she's making $200,000. Now, let's say she doesn't do that. Let's say it's just $4,000. And now she's getting 12 people into that program at 6 months. So now she's making $48,000.
Right.
And if she runs that program twice a year and she gets 12 people paying $4,000 twice a year, she's making almost six figures just from that group coaching program. And that's not a lot. It's only 24 people. It's not a lot.
No, it's not a lot. And there are people that prefer group over individual coaching, especially for women in this situation. And also for you, for your coaches. I mean, for Barb, there's so much value in having that community, right, Christie?
Yes, the community factor of group coaching is powerful. A lot of people think, oh, I want the handholding and the personal attention of a one-on-one business coach. But I'm here to say that if you are a newer coach, you might benefit more from being in a group Because if you're just coaching with someone one-on-one, you miss out on the vibrancy and the support that a community provides, the mental support, the feeling of not being alone, not being isolated, the questions that you might not think to ask, but someone in your community does, and so much more. Community is such a powerful way to learn for sure, and to change your behavior and to receive coaching and receive training so that you become successful. It is one of the biggest game changers you can have in your business. So please, as you think about you're getting your business training, consider making sure you have a strong community, either in the program that you choose, like ours, Build a Real Business, or in whatever program you decide is right for you.
And these like my Love School program, it was weekly group calls, and there was, the Facebook groups and so forth and so on. But there was a lot of value in that group. And these women over the years, again, I've done this for years. There's women after 5, 6, 8 years, I think I started, who are still daily in communication and supporting one another and really close friends and so forth. So there's value for the clients with small group coaching. And also it can be very lucrative, and it's something that you can repeat. It's just like Barb.
Barb is Build a Real Business. If you're new to the Coach Pony podcast, it's our signature Coach Pony program on how to build a coaching business full of happy paying clients so that you get paid to do what you love. And it's over on coachpony.com/BARB, or just go to coachpony.com and hit the work with us button. And I just want to toot my students' horn, since we're talking about making over 6 figures. 2 of my students have recently reported over 6 figures of earnings, and I'm so proud of them. And a bunch of our students, they just finished the first 10 weeks of the program. There's like 6 or 7 of them that just graduated, and they have made almost $150,000 together just in the first phase of the program. So I'm so proud of them as well. So anyway, I just wanted to share it is possible. We're talking about how to do it. And so I'm so excited for everyone listening. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead, Bobbi.
Yeah. So programs like these, every time we reintroduce it, we upgrade it, we update it based on what we've learned from the previous group. They're really, really powerful. And for me personally, really fun to do. This is my nirvana, is being able to speak to this small group of women and really create relationships with them over the months and make a huge difference in their lives. I love it.
Yeah. So high touch, small group, high end programs is one way to do it. And then another way to do it is to have slightly larger group programs. So this is a group program. Bobbi's was super high touch. You might have a group program where some of the training isn't live. Maybe it's delivered pre-recorded, but then you have like weekly calls and events and support. And so you might charge $1,000 for a program like that instead of Bobbi's $4,000, right? Because she was providing so much live support and ongoing support. But if you did $1,000 per program and you sold 150 people into that group program, then you're making $150,000 for the year, right? Now you'll have to find 150 people to sell, and it might be an evergreen program. You might do 2 cohorts of 75. You might run it 4 times a year and get, 35, 40 people in it each time. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But, get 150 people and $1,000 program, $150,000. So that's a different way to do group coaching that can still make you more than 6 figures. A third way I want to go into, some coaches love this because they always think it's passive income. It's not passive income, but do-it-yourself online programs. This is a third way coaches can make money. No income is passive because you always have to market and sell. So let me just be clear that there's a lot of work you're going to need to do in order to make the money you want to make. So if anyone's telling you, oh, it's passive income and it's easy, run away. They're lying to you. But if you want to do-it-yourself online programs, let's say you sell a program for like $99 or $100. So if you sell 1,500 of those per year, then you're going to make $150,000, right? So if you sell 1,500 and you divide it by 12 months, then you need to sell 125 per month or 3 to 4 programs a day. Can you sell 300 to 400 programs a day? There you go. And that'll make you a nice little income that's and do-it-yourself means that you don't involve yourself in the delivery of the program in a live way. But you do, of course, have to offer customer support for anyone who wants to refund or has a technical issue or needs, help with accessing the information. There will be ongoing service and maintenance, even in a do-it-yourself program. So just to be super clear about that. What are your thoughts on this one, Bobbi?
I like that we're talking about it in real life, right? I mean, some of these numbers especially for a new coach may seem like, oh my gosh, if I need 1,500 people to buy something from me. But, when you think of it over the course of a year, it's not that daunting. It's so doable. I mean, it really, really is. And I like too that we're talking about not just the money like you were talking about. I mean, let's face it, we all need a certain amount of money to live a life that we want to live. And that's what's great about being a coach. And definitely balance it with what you like to do. I hate to think that you would choose one of these ways because it makes more money and hate doing it or be exhausted every time you have to do it. I'd love for you to say this, you know what, that sounds like what I'd really enjoy doing. And here's how I can make more than 6 figures doing it or make the money that I need to make.
And so I want to take a quick break and go to our station identification. But when we come back, I want to talk about ways to make even more money once you succeed at one of these. So stick around for that. We'll be right back.
We'll be back right after this message.
The TikTok dances, the Instagram reels, the endless LinkedIn connections. That does it. Couch School. Take me away.
Lose your cares in your coaching business by joining Couch School. It's free weekly business training you can do from your couch, designed to help you start and grow your coaching business. And it's delivered right to your inbox on Sunday mornings. Pamper yourself and your business. Go to www.coachpony.com to sign up and feel better now. That's coachpony.com.
So welcome back. And I promised that we would be talking about how to make even more money. We've already talked about how to make more than 6 figures. So how can you make more money private coaching, group coaching, and selling online programs? So let me break this down really fast. Private coaching, the way to make more money is to take more clients or raise your rates. So as we talked about, if you start out with a package of $2,500 and you raise your rates to $5,000, you've just instantly doubled your income as a private coach. And you don't have to take any more clients to do it. Or in the case of, let's say, Bobbi's example, where you're charging $700 or $7,500 per private client, you take 1 or 2 clients per month, start to take 2 or 3 clients per month. And then you've just instantly made a lot more money in that respect and scaled your business. Or again, raise your rate from $7,500 to $8,500. And there you go. You've just tacked on some extra income that way too. With group coaching, you can do the same thing. You can raise your rates or, of course, you can just get more people into your program. So in Bobbi's case, she had 12 people paying her $4,000 for the 6-month program. What if she had 15 or 20 or 24? If she did that and she offered that program twice a year, then she's gone from making 6 figures to multiple 6 figures really, really quickly. Or in the example I gave of a $1,000 program, you've got 150 people in it. What if you got 200 or 300 or 500 people in that $1,000 program? Then you've gone from making $150,000 to $500,000. Or you could keep that 150 and double the price of the program and make it $2,000 instead of $1,000. And then you've made $300,000 for the year without having to sell any harder than you were before in terms of the amount of people. You'll still have to convince people it's worth $2,000 instead of $1,000, so keep that in mind. And then finally, with online programs, they're the easiest to scale in some ways in terms of straight scale, because when you have a do-it-yourself program, what you really need to do is just sell more of them. I mean, you can obviously raise the rate, but instead of selling 1,500, what if you sold 2,000 or 3,000 and really just started to use ads or some other format to scale up your business? Then there you go. That'll increase your top line revenue, but make sure you keep your eye on profit, because if you spend a lot of money acquiring clients, or alternatively, you spend a lot of money on vendors or building a team that's too large, or just spend a lot of money on treating your clients in a way that's awesome, but it's ultimately not profitable, you might not have as much money as you think on the other side. So anything to add to that, Bobbi, on scale or on getting more clients?
I can't think of a thing. I mean, seriously, Christie, That was a really great recap. There's lots of ways to do well as a coach, and you have a lot of choices and a lot of decisions to make. And it's exciting. It can be really exciting.
So let us just quickly recap everything we talked about. But before we do, this podcast is brought to you by Chocolate and Awesome. And the chocolate today is Bobbi's recommendation. Bobbi, you mentioned something specific?
Chocolate-covered strawberries. It has to be dark chocolate. And don't buy that like ready-made fondue stuff. You've got to like take dark chocolate. Chocolate chips are the best. And cook them up and dip just in pure chocolate.
And the awesome today is Couch School. If you are looking for free weekly business training for coaches that you can do from your couch, then please go to coachpony.com and sign yourself up. You'll get an email every week on Sunday morning delivered straight to your inbox. You don't have to take off your pajamas. All you have to do is open and read the email, and you'll get a tip to take and an action to take that week, and it'll help you get more paying clients. So go to coachpony.com for that. So Bobbi, why don't you list the 3 ways to make money?
Private coaching, group coaching, small group coaching usually, or online programs that are DIY.
And as Bobbi so wisely said, the other thing to think about is choose something that works for you. Don't just pick a way to make money because someone else is doing it or because of something you've heard. Really think about what suits your lifestyle as a coach and how you most like to help people. I personally love to help people in a group format more than anything else. I thrive on the community. So think about what works for you and select that. Revenue isn't everything. Profit, lifestyle, and loving what you do. These are the things that are important in your business. So any final words of wisdom, Bobbi?
That's it. It's all good. I think this was a really good discussion. I hope we helped a lot of people.
And with that, let's check in with the phone lines. Don't change that down.
Radio.
Thanks for listening. You're awesome, Coach.